body bags, science experiments, put all items.
Hey there, Man Fam! Welcome to Universal Epic Universe. In this series, we're going to be going portal by portal, exploring everything these new worlds have to offer, starting with Dark Universe.
This world was inspired by the Universal Classic monsters, so today we're going to ride all of the attractions, dine in every location, hopefully see some of our favorite spooky friends, and explore the backstory here of Darkmoor. Are you ready?
Yeah!
Are you excited?
So excited! Spoiler alert, everybody, we are going to be filming everything we are allowed to film inside of Dark Universe today. So, if you don't want to see that and want to remain spoiler-free, maybe avoid this one.
Waiting outside of the portal here for it to open up, and it says, "It's alive! It's alive!" And like I said, Dark Universe is inspired by the classic Universal monsters, but it's anchored by the Frankenstein story. But you're also gonna see nods to Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, so many more. Alan.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite classic Universal monster?
Dracula.
Dracula!
Who's yours?
I do love the Creature. I love the Creature from the Black Lagoon, not just because I learned about Melissa Patrick, the costume designer, didn't get enough credit for it, even though she was the first female in special effect makeup.
Yep.
And I also like the Dracula.
Oh,
yes.
Very popular vampire.
Yes, but I think Invisible Man is the scariest.
Now, all of the portals throughout Universal Epic Universe are powered by the Chronos, which is found at the front of the park. And here at Dark Universe, this Tesla coil apparatus is inspired by the apparatus that brought Frankenstein's monster to life in the original Frankenstein film.
It's alive! It's alive!
And as you get closer, something that I particularly love as a fan of grimdark fantasy and the classic Universal monster lore, you see all of the monsters attempting to escape on the exterior of the portal here as it is wrapped in these, just tendrils of vines. I'm so excited.
All right, we are walking in to Dark Universe, and that music that you hear, that is all original music composed by legendary composer Danny Elfman. And look at this, you've got the kinetic energy around us, powering the portal open for us to visit today. And then it transitions to this old, decrepit, almost looks like it could fall on us on any moment, wood and beams and light fixtures. And now we have made it into Darkmoor, and the village will start to unveil itself around us. Now, I know everyone's excited to get in and get on the attractions, but take a moment when you first come into Darkmoor to notice how this portal unfolds as you walk in. You can't see Frankenstein Manor when you first get in, and that's all on purpose. Dark Universe takes place in the village of Darkmoor, which is a fictional village where all of the classic monsters you know and love have been seen a time or two. The catacombs are right here, and I don't know that we want to go in there.
I do.
But we're gonna. The village sits on top of catacombs, which we just heard some creatures beneath us, and perhaps throughout this visit today, we may delve a little deeper into those catacombs. As you continue to look at this spooky, scary graveyard, you've got a nice photo op here in the coffin if you'd like to do that. You've got this, oh my gosh, I think that dark, scary bird is a paid actor. You've got this cage right here that a mole person has escaped. You've got the spooky, scary candles. I cannot wait to see this at night. Spoiler alert, we will be back at night.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking this all in. Up top, you have slung over one of the barrack walls a crossbow, which is a very often used monster hunter weapon, which makes sense given that you've got the Monster Hunter Guild running about.
And it's near the bell tower, which if that rings, that means monsters have been sighted. So we need to keep our ears listening. Also, as you round the corner here, you've got this gravestone right here of a little girl who's been picking flowers. This is a nod to Maria, the little girl who Frankenstein's monsters throws into the lake and she drowns in the original Frankenstein movie. And interesting, that part of the film was considered so dark that it actually aired partially centered from when it debuted in 1931 until the 80s because people couldn't handle Frankenstein's monster killing a little girl. And after you have meandered through the spooky, scary gravestone, you round this corner, which is caked with mud to try and keep the monsters out. And then before you is Frankenstein Manor. Here in the village, you've got your different shops and dining locations. Hello. Oh, some vampire familiars, I think, are trying to get us into the steakhouse. We're gonna come have a bite in a little bit. Yes. Should we be scared?
Scared? Scared? What do you mean scared? There's nothing to fear in there.
I feel like there's something to fear somewhere.
Are you sure? No. Well,
No.
out there maybe. Yes,
Okay, but we'll be
here,
safe
you're
in.
safe.
Okay, we'll come back.
You promise?
Promise.
Hold you to it. Stay safe, lost soul. Good luck.
You know, I don't really trust that guy,
I can't imagine why.
considering this fountain right here is a well used to transport human blood down to the vampires who live in the catacombs up beneath our feet. But that's not. But what's important right now is we're gonna go to Monsters Unchained. I don't want to alarm you guys, but John Cena's here. Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Do you know where I can get any monocaine?
Of course I know where you can get monocaine.
Yeah,
What do you want with monocaine?
I would like to take over the world.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's a good answer.
thank you.
Go to the Burning Blade.
Okay,
Tell them Dr. Jack Griffin sent you.
okay.
They'll know what to give you.
They'll know what to give me. I'll do that. Good.
Come see me if they can't see you, yes?
I gotcha.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, whilst distractions abound, we are headed to Frankenstein Manor, currently occupied by the great-great-granddaughter of the original Dr. Henry Frankenstein. Now, Victoria Frankenstein resides here to conduct her experiments to bring monsters, the classic monsters, under her control. This attraction, best we know, has a ride vehicle similar to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. It has a 48-inch height requirement, and I'm excited to go see the results of Dr. Victoria Frankenstein's experimentations.
Apparently, Dr. V, as they call her, as
As
I'm
a friend
gonna
say.
call her. Apparently, Dr. V is trying to prove that the monsters can be tamed, and today, just so happens today, she's gonna demonstrate that for us on the hardest monster to tame, Dracula. But I'm sure nothing will go wrong, and it will all work out great.
That's never gonna work. Trying to tame Daddy D?
You can't.
You can't do that.
I don't think you can, but she said she could.
Ah.
When she sent me a raven with a message. She was like, "Hey, girl, it's me, Dr. V."
She said that?
Yeah, she said, "Hey, it's
So
me."
that's how she calls herself?
Yeah, and that's how I know to call her because
Oh,
we're friends. She's
got
like,
it.
"Hey, girl, I'm doing my experiments. Do you
Yeah.
want to come to the manor
Uh-huh.
and hang out with D?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got nothing else to do."
Well, I'm D for dubious to these claims. We just spoke to the greeter on the way inside of Frankenstein's Manor and found out that, yes, this attraction does have a single rider line, but she informed us she will be missing the entirety of the queue and the pre-show. There is also Express Pass available. Once the park officially opens, we will be doing an Express Pass video and let you know just how much you miss of this queue by using Express Pass.
Who's the true monster? Spoiler alert, it's always humans.
Yep, yeah, always.
Usually men, but always humans.
Co-signed.
From listening to the Discover Universal podcast, as well as we just saw some of the creative folks outside, they told us to pay close attention in the queue to Dr. Frankenstein's different experiments and how she's recording and working with each of the monsters, because it could be a little different from creature to creature.
All right, we're taking a look at this side here. This looks like the other entrance to the Undercroft that you can find at the entryway to the Dark Universe world. Now we are headed inside the manor, and once we get on the ride vehicle, though, we will be taken deep to the catacombs below Frankenstein Manor, because as every stable genius knows, you never conduct potentially dangerous experiments over monsters that have yet to be tamed in your house. You always conduct them very far below, so that way if anything were to go awry, we're not saying it will, but if anything were to go awry, you wouldn't suffer the consequences of that in your living room.
And the thing about catacombs are, they're not spooky at all. They're not scary. They're definitely probably not haunted and or the home of vampires.
On our way through the queue, we're taking a look at all these crates that have all a variety of different chemicals. For example, there's one that has sodium carbonate dihydrite, which is used as a cleaning agent. Then we also have a lacrimatory agent, and based on some cursory research, that's used to create tears, so things like tear gas. Contents of this case has surgical clamps, cavity injectors, 3 of those, and aneurysm needles. Oh God, 2 of those.
You've got aspirators.
Hydro aspirators.
That's gotta be for creature.
Yeah, the hydro aspirator, having that individual either breathe underwater or make it not get water or weight of it. Oh, yeah, hydro aspirators to help it breathe.
Moving our way from the exterior courtyard, and we find ourselves in a study here inside the manor, and I'm geeking out over all the details. You've got the cocktail glasses right here by the fire where they're burning some news that says shadows over Darkmoor. You've got a family tree here with Victoria prominently featured in the middle. You've got this portrait here of Dr. Henry and Elizabeth from the original film. What could be in this crate, I wonder? Darkmoor delivery. Biological hazard. That doesn't feel good. This one's glowing, which is not also concerning. Maybe I could try and open that up. No, doesn't. Okay, we're good. But this has got organs. Fun for science is written on these. For Victoria's eyes only, lab rats don't touch high voltage components. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is wild. Okay, so oh my gosh. Sorry, look, there's Igor's little glasses. And you've got all of her experiment pieces in here and her books and her tools. The Frankenstein monster just freaked me out. It was awesome. And now we're making our way into the main entrance of the manor. A quaint family home with nightmarish souls being taken on the wall. Just simple art and a portrait of great-great-grandpapa up top.
On the way up inside, you have 2 statues that are just sort of looming over you in the entryway. Both of them stitched together, much like the work that Henry Frankenstein did, and Victoria, to cobble together human life and create something new. From the room where they had chronicled the capture of different monsters, we now have a bat, so Dracula's represented here. Oh my. This mix of old and new technology throughout this queue, sort of the merging of the generations between Henry and Victoria is amazing. Whoa, look at the bat! Oh my gosh, so much power going, it looks to be containing it. Wow. This queue is stunning. So in that previous room, we saw the Wolfman, the Invisible, oh my. So much power, oh, whoa. Anyway, in that other room, we had hints of the Wolfman, the creature. The Invisible Man was found hiding in the footage. Oh my. Listen, Victoria has done the house up nice, it seems.
I am Igor. My job is to get you through this experiment in one piece. But Igor, I hear you say, where's the fun in that? I agree, you delightful freak. Sadly, this is not that kind of experiment. Look closely. This is a catacombs navigation unit. All you little lab rats and your little lab rat friends get to ride one. Use it, Igor steers, nothing goes wrong. Yes? Oh. This is fun, yes?
But you will see. There is nothing to fear. Show them.
What's that?
Lower the lights, quickly. Now. These people are friends. See? There's nothing to be afraid of. He is amazing. Better than the original. He is the key to our most exciting experiment. For years, I have studied and controlled the monsters that prowl the darkness. And only one remains. I will control my ultimate challenge. Count Dracula. Calm yourself! That wasn't us.
Silence, creature. I will destroy you.
These two just don't get along. The Dracula experiment is the last piece of the puzzle. And with your help, the world will never see the name Frankenstein the same again. Open the doors!
Body bag, science experiments, put all items into a locker thing.
That's an incredible animatronic.
Animatronic, that was the real thing. That was the monster. It certainly was not a 9 foot tall, 800-pound animatronic. That's maybe the best one I've ever seen.
No, it is. To date, that's the best animatronic I've ever seen.
Also, Dracula seems pissed.
Doesn't seem happy.
But again, it'll be
I get it.
fine.
I get it.
Also, Igor called us sick little freaks, and it was like my favorite thing that's ever happened. Now we're dropping stuff off in the mid-queue lockers. They're like Velocicoaster, where they're going to open on the opposite side after the attraction. Everything needs to go in there.
Yep.
So,
Empty in the pockets, and here we go.
just as a note, you can bring a fanny pack on this attraction as long as you wear it, not a crossbody as a fanny pack. And you can bring phones as long as they are contained in your pocket. You cannot film on the attraction. I think this is supposed to be Mina from the original film. Oh, and the violin. I mean, he definitely out.
You know, I've started about 6 sentences in my head. That is an incredible attraction. I am so impressed by Universal and their attraction. You can clearly see the through line in advancing an existing ride technology. There's a lot, I mean, the ride vehicle is identical to what you're going to have in the Forbidden Journey, in Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. But the experience on that attraction could not be more different. Those animatronics are incredible. Wolfman specifically
Wolfman blew my mind.
was that transition for Wolfman and his appearance.
They do use screens, but unlike Forbidden Journey, where the screen at certain points becomes the whole story, like the Quidditch scenes, the screens here act like more of a background for interplaying the story, and you're still moving through practical sets the entire time. So for me, as someone who gets very motion sick on Forbidden Journey, I didn't feel motion sick at all. If anything, I was hurting my own neck by craning forward to try and look around to see as much as I could, which they tell you not to do, so don't do it. But I personally didn't get motion sick. I could see where people would get motion sick on this, but I do think it's going to be less than Forbidden Journey for a lot of people.
I couldn't agree more. The fact that, and Molly mentioned it before, but I'll just echo it, the fact that you have practical sets in your foreground and screens acting as a background really does mitigate that. I can't ride Forbidden Journey, or when I do, it's very much with my eyes closed, staring into the fan above me. This I could ride over and over and over again without a lot of issue.
We're not going to spoil this ride for you
No.
scene by scene because it absolutely needs to be ridden. And
Yes.
if you are trying to watch ride-throughs online, I would recommend not because one, those people shouldn't have taken those videos, and two, let yourself be surprised by what's going to happen.
It's so worth it. Oh my gosh.
But a couple things to notice, I loved they actually used the ride vehicle as part of the storytelling in a physical sense. When you feel electricity and see electricity in the attraction, you can feel it. Not a lot, but just like a little zzz through your back. Also, make sure you're listening in the background because maybe Dracula was tamed and maybe not. At the very end, you might get a little clue. But okay, again, we're not going to go through
No
this
spoilers.
scene by scene, but
Incredible attraction.
Which animatronics were your favorite? Because there's 14 on the ride.
There are 14 on the ride. Listen, Dracula might be my favorite monster, but I think it's number 1, Wolfman.
Yeah, amazing.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Number 2, Phantom.
Phantom was incredible. Phantom gave me chills. I also love Creature, but one other detail I am going to tell you to look for. At one point, Dracula is there, and his brides, and you may be distracted by his grippers, but his brides are destroying a ride vehicle in the back, and it's a really cool little moment.
It might be when he asks you if you're afraid of the dark.
I am. Legitimately.
That's true. That's true. And like all great attractions, or I guess all attractions in general, you exit into a gift shop. This is the Manor Storehouse. We are going to find a ton of merchandise for the world here in Dark Universe and for a lot of these classic monsters throughout. I, for one, am definitely going to be picking up the Burning Blade Tavern shirt, stein, and tank top because I can't choose and I just want to be a monster hunter at the Burning Blade Tavern. But look at all of these shirts for the classic monsters. Dracula, Pain in the Neck, Wolfman, the Creature. Molly, I know you're going to want that one.
The bride.
Oh, yeah, the bride. Oh, I'm just still so... Is that a candle? Is that a candle? Is that a candle? That's a candle. I want to... Can I smell the candle? Is it...
Does it smell like a tavern?
I'm buying all of them. I'm buying all of them.
Now, obviously, we're not going to show you every single piece of merchandise in this store because there is so much. But Alan pointed out some very fun things already, and I'm going to point out a few of my favorite things. As a puzzle girly, look how fun this Frankenstein Manor puzzle is, and it has glow-in-the-dark elements. If you love a doll or a collectible figure, we have a variety for you, all different shapes and sizes. And they do feature Wolfman's grippers. There's a t-shirt I've had my eye on. I've seen people wear it from the team member previews, and I must find it. I don't actually see the t-shirt I want, and now I am sad. Maybe I'll find it later. I'm not really sad because I'm in Epic Universe. This Creature sweatshirt is awesome. There's also a bunch of merchandise from this collection called Bitty Monsters, where they've made all the monsters cute and cuddly. And I'm sorry, can we talk about how each of the creatures has a little buddy, a little friend, and Creatures is a little fish, and the Wolfman has a little dog, and Dracula has the cutest little bat I've ever seen. Like, come on. When people say, is this world too scary for my kids? I say, give them this and tell them no.
Solid parenting advice, Smalls.
Don't take parenting advice from me, but I will say we rode the attraction. We were with 2 kids that were probably, I don't know, this old.
Well, almost this old.
They were this old, and they seemed like a little nervous, but they were having a good time, and they got off smiling. So I don't think it's, I think if they can handle most dark rides, they could handle this. More about if it's scary or not. I didn't think it was scary, but I love horror nights, so this is like right up my alley. I mean, it definitely is a thrilling, like,
Yes.
There are moments that you're like, whoa! But I love that. I don't think it's too scary. I think the Dementor scene in Forbidden Journey is a good indicator.
Yeah, I would agree. As a fan of grimdark and that sort of like horror vibes, I wouldn't say that there's a lot of jump scares to it. But what we have heard, we actually heard it from someone who told us they were 7. They were more frightened of the queue than they were of the actual attraction.
So yeah, the queue gets dark and loud in a few places, but for the most part, I haven't seen anyone cry yet of any age. So as a fun game in these portal guides, we're gonna get some kind of mystery something in each world. And so we're gonna get Bitty Monsters and see who we bring home. Also, do I need this shirt? I think it describes me perfectly. Last thing I wanna say, oh wait, I'm sorry. I just found a flask. You make me feel alive. Dark, I love it. But the last thing I wanna point out before we go open our monsters, I love just the thematic, oh wait, now I need a Creature mug. I've been saving buying a mug from Epic Universe till I found one I truly felt passionate about, and I feel very passionate about this Creature mug. But as I was saying, I love these drawings and schematics that you can see around the shop. you've got like a layout of each of the different creatures written by Victoria, and you can see her little anatomical drawings on each one. So that's just another fun detail. Okay.
You know, we went exploring and we're finally able to find a spot to prop our camera so we can open these up.
Mini monsters.
Collect all 7. I just want Dracula.
I just want creature.
Or maybe whatever the mystery one is.
Ooh.
Okay. Ready?
Uh-huh.
I think I got him.
I think we both got him.
Wait. Yeah.
He's pretty cute.
I love
He's got
him.
a little bow tie.
Look at him with the... Oh, he's so fancy with the bow tie and the ring. Oh.
And oh my gosh, this is a mirror, but you can't see him. Come on. That's cute.
That's hecking
That's
cute.
cute.
We have 2 Draculas.
Yes, we will count.
We counted 2.
We count. That's a 1, not 2. My Dracula impersonation is not that off from my Mario.
It's a me.
It's a me, a Dracula.
Wrong world, Molly.
I know,
Wrong
we'll get there. Seeing all those monsters made me hungry. So we are headed now to Das Steakhouse, which is spelled very interestingly. Seems almost pointed. And this is a fast casual, so read quick service restaurant, and it exits right here at the outlet of the catacombs. And you should know that a huge colony of vampires lives underneath this location, and here inside the restaurant you're going to interact with vampire familiars who are humans doing the bidding of the vampires in hopes that they will be given the immortal life that they have. So that's not creepy or anything.
I need to dine in with us today.
I am planning on dining with you, but not hopefully being dined on.
Delicious. Please follow me.
Okay.
We have the app on our phones.
Yes.
Awesome. Please make a left, order at your table, and good luck in there.
Good luck in there. Oh.
Okay. I love the lamps.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome in here. Excuse us. This is so cool. Now you can order right here if you'd like to, or you can order from your table, which is what we're gonna do. Oh my gosh, this restaurant is awesome. This says our favorite familiar. Clearly that worked out well for him. I don't think he ever got the eternal life he was after. I don't know that you should trust vampires, but who am I to say? Oh, this is awesome. It is so cool in here. The detail in here is not surprising at this point, unbelievable. So all along the walls here, you see hand-painted paintings, and they are telling the history of the vampires, but the vampires run this restaurant, so they are the heroes in all of the stories. Also, if you look at the light fixtures, some of them have skulls on them, these have bats on them, and they keep flickering on and off, and I can't help but notice a lot of them are red. You've also got this bat detail on a lot of the chairs and skulls, and look at the very, like, when I think about vampires, I think regal, I think elegance, and you're gonna notice touches of that as well. But it's all hidden amongst this rock work, and I'm gonna spend forever in here looking around. We have some fallen vampires as well, you can see. I assume they've been left here as a reminder, as an homage to some of their people. There's tombstones and epitaphs all over the place. It really does feel like I'm in a restaurant run by vampires. And like, not the sexy Twilight ones, the sexy, scary ones.
Taking a look at the menu, you have a whole host of very themed entrees, starting with the Das Burger, or the blood orange chicken sandwich, and what they're most famous for here, the steaks, which are skewers. So definitely got to pick one of those up. You also have some lighter options like the forager salad, and they have some signature beverages as well. You have the Reaper's Reserve, which is made specifically for Dark Universe, and the Darkthorn Mead, which I'm taking a look at here with a pink peppercorn infusion. Okay. You also have a limited selection of draft beers, some canned beers, and bottled beverages. Now for our drink selection, as Molly moves them kindly into place with better lighting, Molly has picked up the Reaper's Reserve. This is a brown ale spiced with cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove, so right up her pumpkin spice girly and horror girly alley. I picked up the Darkthorn Mead. This is a black currant boysenberry vanilla mead with a pink peppercorn infusion. And we also had to pick up, at the suggestion of the Invisible Man, the Monocaine. This is made with Monin pineapple, Monin blue raspberry, Monin passion fruit, and emerald prism powder topped with some Sprite. And it's so glittery.
First up, I will be trying the Monocaine mocktail, as I did tell Dr. Jack I would try it and look for it on his behalf. As someone who does not like sweet things, that is not for me. But I also don't think I'm the target audience. I think that is definitely geared towards little vampire hunters. It's very, very sweet. Tastes mostly like sugar. Sprite and pineapple is the main two flavors I'm getting. I like that it's glittery. I like that it's a fun option if you don't drink alcohol or you're a kid, but this is not something I would try again. But the thing I'm always excited to try is a signature beer, and I'm so glad they have some here at Epic, so let's try Darkmoor's. Oh my god, it's so cool. This is delicious. This reminds me a lot of some of the darker beers that you can find in Wizarding World. It reminds me a lot of the Hogshead. And while it is darker in color, it is actually pretty light and crisp in flavor. It's got a lot of spice on it. It's got a little bit of that cinnamon, nutmeg, autumnal flavors that I enjoy. While this is darker than I would normally go for, it does have a hint of that autumnal pumpkin spice girly flavor that I enjoy from pumpkin beer in the fall. So I am actually quite enjoying this in Dark Universe.
And I shall be sampling the mead, which I have been smelling because it smells quite strong. Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Okay. Oh, wow. My saliva glands are all over the place. You can really taste that black currant and boysenberry flavor. It's incredibly fruit forward, but like concentrated, not very cloyingly sweet, because it ends with that pink peppercorn infusion that has this almost like tingly sensation on the tongue and really activates those salivary glands at the back of your mouth. It has this almost like distinct pucker factor to it. I think that is going to be like black licorice. I think that's going to be sort of a hit or miss for folks. As someone who likes mead and likes this flavor profile, this is right up my alley. But I can see some people thinking this is a bit too tart. I also love, I know Molly walked through and pointed out so very many details here, and I'm just going to point out one more that I think is really cool. And if you blink, you miss it. It's just one of those natural things. You are in the catacombs here, deep below ground, and as such, through the vents, you see a whole host of tree roots poking through that sort of helps signify that you are indeed underground in this warren. Another thing worth noting for theming, but also for practical purposes that you can tell the creatives are thinking about in this restaurant, is the use of red lights. Yes, it is akin to blood. Yes, it does evoke imagery of vampires, but also more practically, by having red lights here, it helps your eyes adjust to the darkness of this space a lot faster. So that way when you enter and you've come out of that really bright environment outside, you're not going to be overwhelmed and have to take forever to have your eyes to adjust to the darkened interior. Taking a little bit more time to explore here, we have a portrait of Mina, which is one of Dracula's greatest loves that got away from him, unfortunately. Often throughout, you'll see that the light changes, which bathes this back wall in crimson red light. And as it does, I got to look at this before and I wanted to watch and wait to see it again, and it happened a second time. It looks as if some of the smudges here on the exterior of the paintings are made in blood, like the vampires were finger painting and adding accents in that sort of crimson blood hue.
And the familiars have dropped off our food as well. We're here with our friend Megan, aka Miss Wizarding World, and we are gonna have a vampire feast, starting with Das Burger. This is a seared Angus burger with tomato, pepper, chutney, white cheddar cheese, grilled onions, hot cherry peppers, bacon on a black bun with fries. We also got the crimson glazed pork. This is char siu style roasted pork belly with a bloody roast pork dipping sauce, charred green onion mashed potatoes, roasted baby carrots, acorn squash, and a crispy mushroom topping. And then, of course, you know, we had to pick up one of the signature steak dishes. This is the bird on a steak. It's grilled, dry rubbed chicken tenderloin with with a red chimichurri sauce, charred green onion, mashed potatoes, roasted baby carrots, acorn squash, and those crispy mushrooms again. And then we are also trying both of the desserts. You've got the Red Velvet Death, which is a red velvet heartbeat coffin cake with chocolate crumbs and puffed rice maggots. And also the Labado Cotta, which is a Greek yogurt vanilla panna cotta brain with raspberry sauce. I hope this food tastes as good as it looks because they have nailed the theming as far as this goes.
So I'm gonna be trying one of the steaks. But before I do, I just want to be very, very clear. Vampires are normally quite afraid of steaks because a stake to the heart is what will slay the vampire. On these steaks, it has in Latin, nostro arbitrio solus, which means at our own discretion, which is hilarious because the vampires are serving you with steaks at their own discretion as opposed to them being used against them, which is peak theming. And on a skewer, that's incredible. I love that. Well, now I'm going to see if I love the food just as much. The chimichurri sauce is amazing. I love that. I will say, it might be because this chicken has been sitting out for a bit because we had to film it all. It is a little dry. But it was very clearly on the grill. Ooh, never mind, that piece wasn't. Maybe it's just inconsistent throughout. But marinated very well. Deep flavors throughout. You can very clearly tell it's touched the grill. It's got that real smokiness. But I love the bright acidity of that chimichurri sauce over top with that cilantro and vinegar.
All right, I'm gonna try the burger. It looks like this when you remove the very wonderfully done steak. That's a very good burger. I would say better than your average theme park burger. It's a big patty, you can see that right in there. Cooked nicely, definitely grilled. Love the little sharp bite from the cheddar cheese, and I love the little sweet heat moment you've got from the tomato pepper jam that's on here. Not anything super hot, just a nice contrast in there. The bun tastes like a regular brioche bun, but it's just thematically fun. Overall, this meal is an elevated theme park burger that's better than an average one, but not as unique as some of the other items on the menu. Burger update. As I've continued to enjoy it, I got some of the peppers, and they actually have some heat and some kick, and this burger just bumped up in my eyes. I love it even more, but if you don't like hot food, ask for it without the peppers.
Now we're digging into the char siu pork belly. I'm just going to comment that fell apart, and I barely needed to cut it. The one thing that I always worry about with pork belly is that it's going to be too fatty, because pork belly is pretty fatty. This, though, is not overpowering, and also it doesn't have that gristly quality in the mouth. It very much just dissolves like meat butter. The pork is hearty, but what I love is that it's cooked very nicely. It has a nice crisp skin on it. The char siu sauce is incredible, lightly five-spiced. We're tasting a little bit of clove, I think primarily is what's coming through there. It's almost a touch syrupy without being super sweet, and it's a great complement to the fattiness of that pork. While I think the pork is very good, I would probably go for the chicken skewers again because I really like the light, bright chimichurri sauce that's on that as opposed to the sweeter sauce on the pork.
All right, digging into this coffin now. Oh, there's red. I guess that's the cake bleeding into the innards there. And I love these little puffed rice maggots. We love theming. This is delicious. It's like a fun take on a red velvet cupcake. The cake itself is really moist and tasty. The cream cheese frosting on the inside is definitely sweet, but it's not overpowering. And I love the chocolate dirt and the maggots for a little crunch difference. This is not anything super exciting as far as flavors go. If you've had a red velvet cupcake, you've had this. But I actually think it's moister and the icing's better than a lot of red velvet cupcakes I've had. But mostly it's all about the fun presentation. Also, I'm obsessed with the fact that they have dark utensils in here. All of the silverware is black and all the plates are dark because that's what vampires would pick.
This looks a little bit too much like a brain, if I'm being honest. Well, let's dive in. All right, looks to have the texture of a classic panna cotta. That's just good panna cotta. And it's made with Greek yogurt, so follow me for more health tips. The custard around it is raspberry. And then on the inside you have these little white popping items. They're not like a popping, like a pop rock style pop, but they add a little bit of crispness to this textural change. Again, if you enjoy panna cotta, this isn't going to blow you out of the water in terms of uniqueness, other than its presentation, but the flavors are good. You know, the details don't stop inside the restaurant. On our way out, we saw some of the light fixtures that were sort of gracing the entryway all had helmets above them, assuming that those helmets and headpieces came from the folks who tried to hunt down the vampires. There was also a child vampire. She was, in a word, terrifying. And now that we're just outside of Das Steakhouse in this small alcove area, there are a whole host, and by a whole host I mean 4 vampires who have been staked and are left here to be honored by the current living vampires who exist in the catacombs below. Hello, folks. You seem to be doing fine. Yeah, one thing that Das Steakhouse does very well is theming.
I mean, the whole time we're in there, like the music, at points you could hear little bats squeaking. The food was excellent as well. I actually think I liked the pork belly most, which surprised me. But the food is definitely better than average theme park food. Oh, the musician's here. So anyways, Das Steakhouse is delicious, and we got...
Yeah.
Welcome, souls. You know why you were drawn here to Darkmoor. Our town is rich with histories of stories both fantastical and true. Some might say that Darkmoor is a well of legend and lore. In fact, this well is a well of legend and lore too. Many call it the well of Darkmore. They say that beneath our streets is a twisting maze of catacombs and dark tunnels, a network of tombs and passages guarded by monsters and creatures of the undead. But truly, this well is immortal, and you stay between 2 opposing worlds, one filled with light and the living, the other filled with shadows, darkness.
Our violinist friend, who had been making her way around the central square of Darkmoor, told us stories of the world here and a little bit of its history, along with the well that's featured here at the center of town. Pointed out a couple of the details of the well, namely being the spikes on the exterior that seem to be utilized not to prevent people from going in, but to prevent things from maybe making their way out of the well. Now, there's also Latin on this exterior of the well, and because I am nothing if not a nerd, the Latin, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, is Nunoam obliviscar te sola nostra voluntate esse, which translates roughly to I will never forget you, only by your will. Since, if what we're to believe is true, the vampires in the catacombs and mazes below the city utilize this well as a place to house their particular form of sustenance, blood. It's an acknowledgement of the vampires that only through the will of those who sacrifice themselves for them shall they be maintained and kept alive. Honestly, it's nice of the vampires to acknowledge their victims. I mean, food. I mean, people that way.
A couple more neat details to look for in this area. First of all, the wonderful violinist is playing outside of the Burgomaster's office, we'll call it, residence. And the Burgomaster is like a mayor of a small town in like Germany and other European countries. And I know that because in the original Frankenstein, they talk about Herr Vogel, their Burgomaster, quite a bit. Also, a fun little detail here, 428 is on the brick right here. 428, April 28th, is the birthday of Carl Laemmle Jr., who was head of Universal Studios during the late 20s and 30s when a lot of these monster movies were being made. And Universal Monsters are actually what saved the company during the Great Depression because they needed to make money. They started making monster movies and they were a smash hit. People loved them as much as they could. They flocked to the theaters. And it's well known that the monsters are what made Universal famous, the most famous, and kept them afloat during a dark time when most other movie studios were having to sell off their land. Another great detail, one I'm conveniently showing at a time of need, is if you look at the Toiletten sign, which is, of course, German, you can see that the icons here are Frankenstein's monster and the bride. The detail Again, knows no bounds to the fact that even the bathrooms feel like you're going into a barn. It's dark in there and the toilets are black. They committed, y'all. Another cool detail. Oh my gosh, can you hear this? Hold on.
You are Mr. Hyde. Stay away, you monster. For our sake, just go to the windmill and tell them I sent you. They will give you.
Here at Dr. Jekyll Apothecary, if you look at the sign right here, you can see someone else has taken over it. But what's cool is if you listen closely, I haven't heard this yet, I just heard a little conversation between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Stay away, you monster.
Also, another Easter egg right here, the Lion's Head, this pub, that's from Invisible Man. And I just noticed the claw, the lion paw, holding on to the signpost there. I mean, these worlds are so detailed. Just looking at everything from like, look at the dilapidated shutters and beams, and everything looks old and worn. And the creative team referred to the world as a monster in of itself because of how spooky and scary it is, and they nailed it. Another cool thing that happens throughout the day as you're walking through Darkmoor is you can pretty much always see the energy pulsing through the windows here at Frankenstein Manor, but every now and again it like cranks up to 100 and you can hear it, and you can hear thunder clap and lightning crackle. Like, you can't hear lightning, that's not the point. And you can see all of the lights throughout the village start crackling on and off, and you can almost even feel this like boom, boom, boom pulsing throughout Darkmoor. And it's because Victoria is taking all of the power throughout the entire village to her experiments in the manor. It looks so cool during the day. I can't wait to see it at night.
And now we are headed to ride Curse of the Werewolf. This takes us in deep into the forest with the Guild of the Mystics, where we will meet Malavia, who tells us that we bear the mark of the werewolf. Now this means that we will either get bit or become a werewolf. So things are looking great for us. It has a 40-inch height requirement, and because of how this ride vehicle is designed, it will be different every single time because of the differing weight distribution of the passengers in the ride vehicle and how it spins. Now, you might be thinking you're going to become Wolfman, and that's just not true. You see, Wolfman is here, inside of Frankenstein Manor, attempting to be tamed by one Dr. Victoria Frankenstein.
Dr. V.
Yes, Dr. V, as Molly likes to refer to her. This is more the long-snouted werewolf, the curse of lycanthropy, that will take you gallivanting through the woods. Everyone, I'm excited. Oh, look, Burning Blade Tavern. Completely unrelated, but I just think that windmill looks incredible as it looms over you. That's really cool. Okay, cool. It's not on fire. Bye. I have to point out as we're sitting in this area is you'll see a lot of these traveling carts that have these large wheels on. You actually see this one here is still upright. You've actually got what will be used to keep the horse hitched to the front of this. But a few of these locations are actually carts that have been taken down, and their wheels now lay strapped to the side because they have become a more permanent staple and structure here in the village. The Curse of the Werewolf also has both single rider and express. Even one who is pure of heart may become a wolf. Or has already become a wolf. In the case of Molly with the claws.
Now, Maleva is first seen in the Wolfman, but she's kind of been reinvented for this attraction. She's a little younger, a little sassier. We love that for her. Also, I believe that amongst this amazing Danny Elfman score, we're hearing some of the music from the Wolfman as well. Here's a few of her cards. Ooh, there's our reading right here. Ruh-roh. Additionally, if you look down on the ground, you may see some paw prints here and there.
A lot more intense than I anticipated.
I think that ride's a lot of fun. Now, I wouldn't wait like a super long time for it. We waited 45 for Monsters earlier, and I felt like that was not a long time for that ride. 45 minutes for this may be long, but it was basically a walk-on. It is more intense than it looks.
The amount of spinning you do. Oh boy.
We did more spinning this time than when I first started because Alan and another tall gentleman were behind him, so the weight was whipping it more, but you go forwards, backwards, all around. I don't think it's personally, I don't find it nauseating. It's not like spinning.
Yeah, not like teacup style spinning.
I don't even think this attraction is as intense as like Guardians when it comes to
No,
spinning.
nowhere near.
It's mostly like a fun mid-level coaster with some unique movements and a cool animatronic. A really, I think, an underrated ride in this park.
For sure. A very fun. I think people are going to classify this as a filler attraction.
I don't know that I would. I think you're right.
I think people will.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mistake. I think it's a lot of fun.
It'll be a filler ride in the sense of if it maintains a low weight, it's a great thing to do in between
Yes.
some of these e-tickets.
Yes. And now we're here to check out the Guild of the Mystics, which has some merchandise that is unique to this ride, along with the Curse of the Werewolf. Ooh, it's a lot of fun there. I particularly like that shirt that seems to have a little bit of like claw marks in it. That's a lot of fun.
That's the mark of the wolf.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. In terms of the story, this is the Traveling Mystics cart that has settled down now to give you merchandise, to give you more insight into this Mark of the Wolf, which, do I need this shirt? A black shirt in Florida? Probably not, but I want it. Oh, and inside there's even more. We wear so many hoodies in Florida. Do I need those pants? You know, probably not. Do you need that headpiece?
Maybe.
Sure.
I'm gonna try it on.
Do it. Oh, stunning. Absolutely. I think so.
Practical. This is just a little thing, but I love how much specific attraction merchandise there is. Like, they have the model kit of this ride vehicle specifically. They had that at Monsters Unchained as well. They've got multiple specific Curse of the Werewolf shirts and bags and accessories. And recently in theme parks, I've seen some locations kind of get rid of unique merchandise for specific things, and it's kind of, you're seeing the same things everywhere. So I love that they're doing that. Speaking of things I love, Igor. Hello, Igor.
Hello, Igor.
How are you?
Look at this one. He's got like two baby heads for shoulders.
No.
Oh, nothing up there though. Oh,
Yeah. It didn't seem like things ended well for you when I saw you at the manor.
What are you talking about?
The bats, the Dracula.
Oh, you were on the for the experiment when
Yes.
we did the drill.
Yes.
Yes. No, those are my friends. That is Doug and Steven and Samantha and Denise. They're all little bat friends from the catacombs.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. When we have a big victory, they run and tickle me. Ah! This is.
And everything's fine. Oh, good. I was worried about you.
Yes, and then the red stuff, you know what it was. You know what it was. Yeah, you do.
Well, we just saw Igor, and I'm thrilled to learn he is fine after what I assumed was not a fine result at the end of Monsters Unchained. Now we are headed to the Monster Treffen, which translates to Monster Meeting, because this is where you can meet some friends of yours, and I just love this sign. Again, it's all in the details. It is Frankenstein's monster meeting Maria, and she's giving him the flower. Hello. How are you? Are you good?
Yes, I'm well. How are you? How do you feel? Warm?
You're on my shirt.
Yes, I do see.
You're on my shirt too.
Yes, as well as
Dracula!
You don't like him? No, he is
Bad.
a true monster.
Monster!
Yes. You are not a follower of Dracula, are you?
No, I do not like him at all.
Why do you wear him on your shirt?
I don't know. To maybe he won't hurt me if I have him on my shirt.
Bad shirt.
To protect you.
Yeah.
She uses it to protect herself. Does he think you are an ally? Yes.
I'm not. Don't worry.
Playing trick.
No, friend.
Fred. She plays tricks on Dracula.
Oh.
Yes. That is good.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yes,
Yes.
very smart.
Yes.
I do like that idea.
Or trick.
Yes.
One thing that I loved about that meet and greet location is that right beside Frankenstein's monster and his bride, there were pitchforks there, which, grab your torch and pitchforks, which is Shrek, but also, even in that film, I reference back to Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein film. I will also say that there is a very funny, at least to me, sign on the way out for The Undertaker, which offers same-day service for burials or reburials, because here in Darkmoor, things don't like to stay buried. after a nice encounter with Frankenstein's monster and the bride of Frankenstein, where Molly certainly didn't lie to them about her love and adoration of Dracula. Thankfully, they didn't ask me. I would have been honest. We are now headed to the Burning Blade Tavern. Something that I've been anticipating since arriving here in the world of Dark Universe and walking the streets of Darkmoor. Here we are again at the windmill, seated above the Burning Blade Tavern. And the windmill goes off every 15 minutes. These blades will erupt in flame on the windmill. And you'll be able to know when this occurs when you hear a bell toll throughout Darkmoor, signifying that you have about 30 seconds to get over here in front of the windmill.
More pitchforks here on the exterior of the tavern. And the windmill, of course, is your icon here, coming from the iconic finale of the 1931 Frankenstein, where the monster is trapped in a windmill and the villagers light it ablaze. And it ends poorly, but spoiler alert, not for the monster. Neither of us have been in here yet. Super excited to check it out. I do believe this is where monster hunters come and discuss their, oh, thank you, accomplishments. Taking a look around, you can see some trophies, aka monster heads, on the back wall. I'm seeing a wolfman, a creature from the Black Lagoon, a horrifying fish. I don't even know what to call that thing. But I want to draw your attention to this one right here, which is a very cool Easter egg. It's half the alien creature from the movie The Island Earth and half the Thing from the iconic horror film The Thing. So that's pretty cool. I'm also noticing lots of monster weapons, anything from a spear gun right here. I believe that was used in Creature from the Black Lagoon, all the way to garlic, because you know who doesn't like garlic. You've got a fez back there. I believe that's from the Mummy. The little captain's hat underneath the most terrifying mer creature of all time. That's also from Creature from the Black Lagoon. We're dropping secrets in here as we go, but we will definitely be doing a secrets details videos at some point after we have time to fully come just explore every nook and cranny, and after we've been to the grand opening event where hopefully we get to talk to some of the creatives to learn even more. Another detail I'm obsessed with, if you look up in the ceiling, you can actually see some fire crackling through because of course this building does, catch on fire. And last cool little detail I noticed, this "Don't feed the animals, especially werewolves" sign.
All right, we have picked up our drinks from the Burning Blade Tavern. I have picked up the Pure of Heart. This is made with Misguided Spirits, Hinky Dinks, Working Man's Whiskey, the Bitter Truth Violet Liqueur, Creme de Cassis, lime juice, pineapple juice, honey syrup, blackberry essence, topped with ginger beer. Molly has picked up the My Only Weakness. This is made with London Dry Gin, Aperol, cherry brandy, lemon juice, simple syrup, Angostura aromatic bitters, orange bitters, and soda water with a lemon wheel and a cherry. And we have also gotten, courtesy of Miss Wizarding World, the secret menu item known as the Crossbow. This is the mead found here in Dark Universe, here in Darkmoor, mixed with Strongbow.
Moved inside, and it is just like the vibes in here, excellent. It's like a creepy, dark, I hope the monster hunters show up, because they do apparently walk around at times. Cheers. Okay. It's very gin forward, so you have to like that botanical, kind of herby almost flavor that comes from gin, but that means it's also not sweet, which I prefer. You can definitely taste the lemon, you can taste a little bit of the bitters, but mostly I'm tasting the gin. So while I probably, when I come back in future visits, will lean towards a beer, because that's what I like to drink in parks, this is pretty good for a mixed cocktail.
Cheers. I do hope it keeps the werewolves away. Oh wow, hold on. Whoa. Let me just fold into the darkness real quick as I contemplate the flavors. Okay, so you do taste the whiskey, but it's incredibly refreshing. There's no bite to it. You just get some of the smoky barrel woody flavor from that whiskey. Then you immediately move to a very floral aftertaste coming from that violet liqueur. And that's what sort of carries you through. It very much reminds me, they describe it as like the potion to keep away the Curse of the Werewolf. And it does taste almost like what I would imagine some sort of like botanical flowery potion to taste like.
Also taking a sip of the crossbow, which one of our friends ordered. Again, this is the secret menu, but now you're in on the secret. Okay, that's delicious. The mead that Alan had earlier is very, very tart, but the Strongbow cider is sweet, so it perfectly balances. It's got a little apple crispness to it now. Actually, this is what I'm going to be ordering when I come here from now on. Now, in addition to the beverages, they do have some tavern fare at the Burning Blade, including a hunter's garlic steak, which is a garlicky pretzel, the charred loaded potato, which looks amazing, but I'm a little full to eat this time, a burger, and a chicken skewer. So a little bit lighter items than you'd find at Das Steakhouse, and of course we've picked a few up. We are trying the Burning Cheddar Bites. These are crispy fried poppers with a sriracha ranch, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, these look like the rocks from hell from Halloween Horror Nights. We'll confirm in a moment. Hope so, because they were delicious. As well as the Hunter's Garlic Steak, which is a crispy garlic butter pretzel with a garlic dipping sauce. And a Monster Hunter's here.
Villagers, you have made it to the safe haven of the Burning Blade, protected by legendary monster hunters like myself, Gregor the Guardian.
Woo!
Yes, I know, but if you were to remain underneath our protection, you must first learn our toast. So everyone, please, raise your arms in the air and your glasses should you have them. And when I say release the hounds, I want to hear your loudest, fiercest howls. Patrick to the Burning Blade, release the hounds!
This smells so garlicky. I shall dip my garlic pretzel stick into my garlic sauce. Oh, it's so drippy. Oh my God. Okay. My breath is going to be terrible, but I don't even care.
There will be no vampires near us.
First, the drink to get rid of the Curse of the Werewolf. Now protection from vampires. Today's a stellar day. Nice pretzel bread, very fluffy on the interior. Same sort of like bite on the outside of the pretzel. So much garlic and parsley on the exterior, very buttery. And then that sauce, I could drink that. That's just a delicious garlic butter. Yes. If you must try this, unless you have a fear of garlic and or are a vampire, or both.
All right, and now cheese bites. Keeping an eye out because the hound is here. These are, in fact, the delicious pimento cheese fritters from Halloween Horror Nights. They're nice crispy exterior, pimento cheese on the inside, so it's got that little peppery bite to it, a little sharpness that regular cheese doesn't have. But the addition of the sriracha dipping sauce, adding a little bit of heat, these are a lovely shareable. Both of these, quite nice here at the tavern. Could you tell me about a time you hunted a monster?
Time I hunted a monster?
Who's the hardest one to hunt?
So, okay, you see that werewolf up there on the wall?
Yeah.
I was in the woods north of Darkmoor, okay? And he comes out of the woods, just charges our group. That's how I got these scars right here. Just one swipe of his claws right across the face and he pinned me to the ground. Fortunately, have you met Igor yet?
Yes.
Okay, freak. But he's great if you trade other people's body parts for weapons or tools. I traded him somebody else's arm for a silver-needled syringe of wolfbane potion. I was able to inject the wolf, which made him immobile, and then I sawed off his head, put it up on the wall, and made a fantastic coat, if I may say so myself.
Very nice.
So, just be careful of those werewolves, okay? If you don't have wolfbane potion, you don't have silver, you're not going to be able to do anything.
Good thinking.
And just remember my #1 monster hunter rule. You don't have to outrun the monster, just your friend that you trap. Okay? And that's how we survive.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
You're welcome, okay?
Thank you.
Good luck to you all, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All right, take a good look, folks.
You're about to not recognize these mugs because we are headed to the Darkmoor Monster Makeover Experience at Dr. Pretorius's lab. He is the scientist that was a big fan of Henry Frankenstein and then actually lured him back to the creepy arts of science in Bride of Frankenstein. And this is a full monster makeover experience. Currently, they're doing the version that's just the makeup, which is $45, but once the park officially opens, there is a
full makeover, including some
look,
costume pieces.
which I do have an appointment for later, so stay tuned for that. But we are headed in to get made over. One important thing, actually two important things. One, If you are coming to this prior to the park officially opening, they're doing walk-ups for this experience. After that, they will take reservations. Highly recommended if you want to do this. And 2, if you're 21 and older and you're going to do this, you can't drink once you've got the makeup on. So.
Your face must match the face on your ID in order to purchase alcoholic beverages.
Ours will not soon. There's a bunch of fun details here in the lab. For starters, you've got some of the mole people right there. Fun fact, Melissa Patrick, who designed Creature from the Black Lagoon, also designed those. You've got like the top of the monster's head and hair right there. You've got an ape, I'm assuming from Planet of the Apes. You've got a hat, which I believe would be the Invisible Man's creature, and the Wolf Man all up here as inspiration. And I love the light fixtures in here because they, like everything in Darkmoor, are being powered by Frankenstein Manor. They've got this very cool like technology inventor science meets Gothic castle.
Now attached to Dr. Pretorius' labs is the merchandise shop for his scientific oddities, where Dr. Pretorius himself, there's his portrait, and here's where he resides. Much shorter than I anticipated him being. All
Maybe
around.
he's resting in pieces.
I see what you did there. There are so many different oddities about. Oh! My goodness. We have all of his, on the back you have a little bit of Frankenstein skulls. So many interesting things on the shelf above us here. And then up above there on the rafters we have, hold on, let me zoom in very slowly for you. That is Pete, one of the homunculi that resides here in Dr. Pretorius' scientific oddities. And if you are familiar with The Bride of Frankenstein, where Dr. Pretorius makes his debut and appearance, he has homunculi with him there, a little king and a queen.
Now he's so madly in love with her that we have to segregate.
Oh, he also has a book that is the Atlas of the Human Brain, by section. So just in case you're curious about that. All right, well, I was on my way to sort of exploring the shop here, and I'm going to flip the mic around so you can kind of hear what I'm hearing. You can hear that heartbeat as it is played over and over and over again here. A little frightening. And on the way inside the shop at the top in these rafters, you have a nod to the mummy with the many jars that contain the organs after mummification processes. So this would be a nod to Anuxanamun.
And once again, I got to shout out these specific merchandise because there is a Dr. Pretorius collection that, first of all, these scrub pajamas, literally hilarious. And then you've got like this different drinkware that looks like scientific beakers and test tubes. Look at this purse. Look at this purse right here. It's a book, but it's actually a purse. Like, come on, Universal Merchandise. You guys are just gonna take so much money of mine. Oh, yes.
I know, it's stunning.
Attention, Darkmoor! Watch out for our new creatures! They're alive!
Woo! Hey, it's us.
I bet you couldn't tell.
Boo!
Look at my jaunty brows.
You do have quite a brow. It's a bat wing, she said.
Ooh.
So that took about 20 minutes for the full. Ooh, the power's going to the manor. That's.
The lights are going out.
All right, we got distracted.
Typical. It took about 20 minutes to do this experience. Obviously, $45 is an expensive, like, makeup, face painting, but I think it's fun. I especially think kids will enjoy this. I would recommend if you're going to do this before you go meet the characters, because I think you will have very interesting experiences.
I agree.
Especially if you're Dracula and you walk up to Frank.
I
don't like that.
No, not at all.
So, but I think it's fun. It's obviously not a must-do, but it is definitely a fun experience, and I can't wait to come back for the full.
I can't wait for you to do that either.
Yeah. So one more thing, actually two. One, they gave us makeup wipes to help take it off, and two, they did tell us. I said, what about when people are sweating and it's like coming off? They said that they offer touch-ups throughout the day. So if you get it done and you sweat some off or it comes off when you're eating, just come back and they'll help you. Cottage, the last place we need to grab a drink, and this is your first time seeing the windmill on fire up close?
Freaking awesome. I know as a vampire I should be afraid given that monster hunters are there, but I can't help but think that's very cool.
We should go back in there in our makeup.
Oh! Okay, for our final food stop, we are headed to DeLacy's Cottage. Now, DeLacy's Cottage is referenced in Mary Shelley's Volume 2 of Frankenstein, where Frankenstein was educated through his own sort of self-reflection and observing them through a small hole in in their house, how to act like a human and what it felt like to feel empathy and be a part of a loving family. Frankenstein's monster actually met DeLacy before the monster was chased out of their home by the family who was off-put by the monster's looks. But that's neither here nor there. Now we have DeLacy's Cottage, which sits here, and it is a really fun, deep-cut nod to Frankenstein's monster.
And from DeLacy's Cottage, we have picked up the Frank and Friends pretzel, which is clearly a pretzel shaped like Frankenstein's monster, served with some white cheese, as well as, I can't believe we did this, the warm-hearted cinnamon bites. These are warm cinnamon sugar donuts with cream cheese icing and streusel. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a Shrexel, but just a different green guy. But just like a Shrexel, it's delicious. Buttery, little salty where you want it to be. These are not super fluffy pretzels. They're a little bit denser, but they've got good taste. I really like the cheese sauce. I will say though, while this one is very cute, the pretzel in the Burning Blade is definitely the superior pretzel here.
And I have elected to eat the donuts covered in a globule of cream cheese.
Yeah, you elected.
Yes.
I wasn't gonna eat them.
This was an entirely voluntary notion. Cheers. The cream cheese frosting is elite. I like that they added the streusel on top. That's a nice textural contrast. The donut itself, though, is cakier than I anticipated. It's not a cake donut, it's just dense. If you're a fan of donuts, you're gonna be a fan of this. It's not super sweet. I think it is just enough to satisfy your sweet teeth.
Does it taste like a donut?
It does taste like a donut.
For science.
Oh, one bite, everybody knows the rules.
It definitely tastes like a donut.
And now, folks, all that's left to do is to wait until Darkmoor gets dark. So we'll see you then. Yeah, as predicted, pretty cool at night.
Look at that thing.
Let's explore. Starting there. So cool. All right, we were en route to the Burning Blade Tavern just to catch the windmill while it was on fire, but I had to stop for a moment. Molly's not taking pictures of this. Frankenstein's Manor, back behind this, these trees are, it's imposing and spectacular to say the least. Yeah, that was also awesome.
Yeah, and even more so than during the day, like walking around here at night, you can hear werewolves and bats flying about and just little creatures, and it does feel spooky scary.
And now that night has fallen here in the town square of Darkmoor, you can see the burbling red mist coming from this well, indicating, well, it's not water that is occupying the space below. Oh, and also, the more you hang out by the well, you can hear the vampires below you in the catacombs, accompanied by some bat sounds as they take flight. That is creepy and awesome.
And as predicted, the lights in here at night look amazing. Everything from the top of the portal lighting up right there. You've got the bell illuminated. and just all the signage around. Look at the candles illuminating Steakhouse, the Dr. Jekyll apothecary. There are over 6,500 lighted elements throughout Dark Universe. This world is meant to be seen at night. It's definitely spooky, scary at night. Nothing's gonna jump out at you, probably, but it is definitely so immersive and it feels so alive. Like, come look at all of Dr. Jekyll's potions. This is so cool. Look at that. Oh, there's his pipe. Oh my gosh. And these look completely different than during the day. Yeah, so as predicted, the power going out at night after the manor sucks it all up was pretty awesome.
And now we are back to where it all began this morning, admiring this gorgeous portal. It's truly alive. And that brings us to the end of our time in Darkmoor as a part of Dark Universe. We've left changed. Quite literally.
Now, as we move through this series, we are going to wrap our time in each of these portals by answering a few questions. What is the must-do? We're each going to pick one. What is the best thing you ate? And if you only had one day or limited time in Epic Universe, what's the thing that you can probably skip?
I'll start with the must-do because it's going to be Monsters Unchained.
It's an unbelievable attraction. I would agree that attraction blew me away.
So good.
Full disclosure, we rode it multiple times throughout the day today just because the line was low, and each time I noticed something amazing. The animatronics are incredible, the queue detail is incredible. It is wonderful storytelling, but I'm gonna add, I think if you're visiting Darkmoor, you gotta meet a local.
Absolutely. The monsters are out and about for you to interact with, and they are so incredible, larger than life. Meeting Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein today was incredible. That interaction was...
Entertainment is part of the reason this park works so well because it really brings it to life, and it's really fun here at Dark Universe.
And next up, the best thing we ate today.
For me, I'm gonna say the pork belly
from
Das Steakhouse. First of all, Das Steakhouse is awesome. The theming in there is incredible. I loved everything about being in there. So immersive. I thought it was all well above average theme park food, but the pork belly really shone for me with the burger as a second.
And for me, if you're gonna go with Das Steakhouse, I'm gonna go to the Burning Blade Tavern. Not only because of the drinks available.
Oh, that secret menu crossbow, delicious.
Very good. Also because of the Steakhouse pretzel garlic bread. Oh my gosh, keep vampires and most of your friends and family away with the amount of garlic that you're having there. Also, that place is just a vibe.
Yeah, Monster Hunter in there, the monster heads, very cool. Right, and now I don't even like this category, but I do think it'll be very helpful for a lot of you because if you've only got one day at Epic, it's gonna be a busy day. Not everything can be on the must-do list. What's the one thing you would skip?
I think for me, if you've got a wait time of greater than maybe 45 minutes, Curse of the Werewolf, it's a fun ride. I had a lot more fun on it. It was a lot more thrilling than I thought, but if it's got a longer wait, you can probably skip it. What about you?
I would agree with that. If you've got Express or it's a 20-minute wait, absolutely do it. It's a great filler ride, but I would not wait more than, I'd say 30. Yeah. The Monster Makeover, I think it was really fun, and so many people complimented us, and I think they did an amazing job.
They crushed.
They absolutely crushed, but it's an expensive experience, and you may want to spend that money on other souvenirs. And with that, we close the portal of Dark Universe, and we await the next one to open because we have another one of these guides coming very soon. But in the meantime, let us know what you're most excited about to see in Darkmoor down below.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join us on Discord. We would love to have you there. The links for all that are down below.
Check out the Mammoth Club Patreon for behind-the-scenes content and more. And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Dracula.
Oh, you're so right. I'm kind of Frankenstein's monster.
Nice.
And it's been spooky.
Yes, it has been a wonderful time. Auf Wiedersehen, my friends.
Oh my. Simba.